inside every man lives the seed.
That's deep. And why is it deep is because usually when you sharpen your mind and you sharpen your sword against another person of faith, whether they believe the same thing as you or not, it shouldn't be bitter. It should only be able to prove your faith and then make you look at life differently. Like I said, I think all religions are evil. I think anybody taking titles, fine, do what you're going to do. I don't think God is evil though.
Right.
And I don't believe life is evil. It's it's the decisions you make off of comfortability of moral obligation for right or wrong. That's how what I believe. Because believe me, I mean, think about this. I read and believe the Bible myself. I think the Bible is divided into three sections: moral law, spiritual law, and social law.
Okay.
And it seems like too many people get caught up on the social law that they forget the spiritual law. And then some people get so caught up on spiritual things that they don't use common sense. So the moral law is lost. And I hate that about religion because when I ask people what's the first commandment in the Bible, they're like, you should respect the God, or your God, all your heart, all your mind. Like, that was the first commandment. What are you talking about? I'm like, look at Genesis when he said, be fruitful, multiply, subdue the earth. Like, that's a commandment. Where was Moses when that was written? He wasn't even born
Moses
yet.
wasn't even born
yet. They're like, well, I understand what you were saying. I'm like, then you just tell me you don't get it, and let's have a conversation. People like to debate. People like to go back and forth when it comes to the faith. Just like people like to get on the mic and say, I'm better than you, and I'm better than this and this and this and this.
That's the nature of hip-hop right there.
But that's the nature of religion as well, because if we all believe in one thing, we should not have so many variations of a book that makes people then question, is the book real? Are these people real? Where's Moses? Where was he buried? You know what I'm saying? We have so many different questions, and that's why I asked you about unity, because even in hip-hop people are fighting.
Right.
Who's the best rapper? Who's the top 5? Your top 5 is wrong because I got
like
the top
this.
5.
You listen to mumble rap. I listen to hardcore rap, whatever it may be, you know.
And the thing is, okay, it's all music. Whether you like it or not, that's cool. I mean, that's your opinion. But it's all through experience in which you prove faith and religion and God true. And it's through experience that you find your sound and know what connects to your heart. So, talk to them about one of my favorite songs you made, which is Rebel. Now, how does Rebel reflect your faith and also gives voice to your hip hop?
Alright, Rebel reflects my faith. Alright, this is the thing. Before I even answer that question, I gotta explain something about Rebel. The title alone, most people might hear it and they just think that I'm saying, like, oh, like rebel against society. And it is saying that, but it's actually more than that. Like, if you listen to the new version of Rebel that I recorded recently, where I have like the conversation in the background, I'm really saying also rebel against like religious thought and mental thoughts that like hold you down and don't allow your mind to expand. You know what I'm saying? So the as far as like rebelling, it's on a whole nother level. Now, how does it reflect my spirituality or my faith? Easy. The whole nature of knowing you Israel is just rebellion against it, against like normal thought itself. Like the whole world, when you say Jew, you don't think of a black person. You don't. You think of white Abraham Lincoln dudes with curly temples and top hats. And that's just the reality of it. You know what I'm saying? And then if you're not thinking about that, you thinking this is a fictional book. So now for people who think this is a fictional book, you're telling them, I believe that I'm a group of people that you believe is fictional. For people who believe that they're white, you're saying, no, I don't believe that they're the real ones. I'm the real one. I mean, man, that's rebellion in itself. You know what I'm saying? You know, what was the second part of the question? Because I don't want to deter too much.
Well, how about this? Let's just take what you said and flip it. I have certain issues with people who jotted down the Bible and say it's the white man's book. And they say the white man is, the white man is. I'm like, yo, you give white people too much credit. Yo.
Exactly.
And then I'll be like, yo, in the book, the people who you're saying they prescribe to are called evil. They said themselves they were people of color, just like you.
Right.
So then people like, no, it don't. And you show them what Paul said. They thought he was an Ethiopian.
Right.
But he pulled his Roman citizenship.
Right. They thought he was Egyptian.
Yeah. Okay. Then you have the statement of Christ with the feet of brass and the royal hair and all that, right? Mm-hmm. Then you also have the Esau conversation where Esau couldn't have been a Caucasian because he was able to mix in the land and not be outed with the people. And when you look into genetics, look at genetics, I would be considered red. This is Esau color because blotchy skin. You know what I'm saying? Adam being red and
man, you open up a whole nother door, man. On Facebook, they're gonna be going crazy over this, man.
It doesn't matter. I'm available for conversation. I mean, it's whatever, but no matter what you say, I don't care anyway.
I know you don't care, Kareem. You always been like that. You a nonchalant type of dude, man.
Exactly. But I like to listen. So even with this interview, let's take it back. Rebel talked about how your life is a living contradiction to the norm of society. What about songs like To Be a Soldier? Like how does that reflect faith in how you walk it? Because when I hear most Muslims rap, I hear about them making salat and then selling drugs, unfortunately. No, I mean not all, but some that I hear.
And I laugh because of the truth in it. That's why.
Yeah. When I hear 5%ers rap, and that was most of the late 80s and early 90s.
Right.
It was God lessons. Hip hop had different songs, so people didn't talk about the violence as much.
Right.
But you had people God lessons. You had people talk about being a God body and bodying somebody with it right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, in the same bar.
Right. Then you have Christian rappers who rap about murder and misogyny. And when they get the awards, they say, I'm going to thank Jesus Christ for this award. So I just made a whole album about getting some head and shooting somebody in the face.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And God was the one that blessed them.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's the can of worms. Like, which God are you referring to?
Right.
But how do you keep that moral obligation, like to be a soldier and rebel, and hallowed be thy name, and tracks like that? How do you keep that moral obligation and that moral composure to not go deep into a quote unquote negative realm, but to keep your faith present as you pray the message of hope and the foundation of morals into your music?
Yeah, I think that one thing for sure is this: no matter what faith-based system you're dealing with, you're always going to have hypocrites. You're always going to have people that say, I believe this, and then it's something else. Like, I've had conversations with Muslims, and because I've studied Islam, and I've, at one point considered myself that, I have conversations with Muslims where I'm trying to teach them about being Israel, and then I'm saying, yo, but you're not even supposed to be doing this if you're Muslim, and they're like, nah, and they make up their whole own interpretation of it. You feel me?
Right.
One of the things for me that keep me grounded is the fact that, like, I really truly believe in what I'm saying I believe in. And that means if I have to give up the one thing that I love the most, and when I say the most, I don't mean literally the most, but I'm saying the closest to, the Most High and my wife, if that means I have to give up hip-hop, I will. You feel me? And hip-hop is like not a thing for me. So my thing is, you gotta live life first before you have something to rap about. You feel me? If you're not really living life, and this is why I like Nas so much. Nas will disappear for like 10 years and then just come out with an album, whether the world agree with it or not. It's like a banger, like the Untitled album or Distant Relatives or something like that. And I feel like I'm the same way. Like, I have to live life so I can actually have something to rap about. And that's why when you hear songs like To Be a Soldier, that's literally about what I'm going through in my mind as far as, am I putting the Most High first? You know what I'm saying? Am I staying grounded in my faith? Am I really living the way an Israelite is supposed to live to the best of my ability. And that's why I make songs like To Be a Soldier, and then you don't hear me turn around and make like the contradictive song to it, because you know, even though in I want to say real life, this is real life, but everybody make mistakes. Like, ain't nobody perfect, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not like literally like, oh, I'm God-fearing all of the time, 24 hours a day. I'm not that, you know what I'm saying? But the reason why I don't rap about, and it's not that I don't rap about it, but I don't glorify my non-God-fearing periods in my life, is because of how important it is for me to be God-fearing. You feel me? So if I slip up and I make a mistake or something, if I rap about it, as far as my negativity, it's not in a glorifying way. It's more of, I could relate to you, see I mess up too type, you know what I'm saying? And if I mess up and I get back up, you could do the same thing, you know.